Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna
Oh no.
hope that that everything's going right. I did hit record this time, so that's a good start. Let's get right into it because we got a hell of a lot to talk about this week. Hello and everyone, and welcome to Brad and Bob's 14-hour cooking marathon, where we teach you to cook half-priced oyster jacks, Tostitos with gravy, pasta-ritos, and more excellent and interesting foodstuffs. You can expect a full 14 hours of nothing but the most succulent and sumptifying sultry dishes. But first, a message from our sponsors. Nakara has paid us 3 bald eagle eggs, which we're going to turn into a scrumptious goulash. Thank you for that, Nakara. Shiver wherever he is has paid us 14 quarts of lint, which we will light on fire to flambe a slice of birch tree.
Got it from my belly button.
And last but not least, CommanderLlama has given us an all-access pass to the year's hot ticket telethon, 72 hours of jellyfish births. We will be watching that like dolphins on Eggos. You're watching the Relay Station.
What's happening?
Okay, so I don't have much sleep, and I'm not really sure if I'm awake right now.
It doesn't help, trust me.
Yeah.
Are you guys awake? Yeah, okay.
I think so.
I'm not.
Matt is nodding.
I
All
did
right.
tell you it was going to be a bit weird today. I don't know what happened to the intro. I started writing it, and that came out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you are always potentially a brain in a vat, no matter how you feel at any moment. So
It's true.
It's potentially potential. All right. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, we're going to... we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Before we get into... Well, oh, damn it. Before we get into it... The wave. Thanks, Flint
Cheers,
Dragon.
Flint.
Before we get into some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, we're going to be talking... we're going to talk the news, then we're going to talk LTI, then we're going to talk multi-crew, then we're going to do the questions as usual. I do want to say I had a bit of a rant last week about some stuff. I have clarified it with CIG. I jumped to conclusions last week. It wasn't actually CIG that gave anything out. So we're good on that end. At least I am, in my opinion. So for
Okay,
all the
then
people that were
nuke
asking...
intel. It's a nuke the people who did.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy AMD from now on.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway,
All over.
so there will be some ranting later, though. Keep an eye out for, well, an ear out or whatever. I don't know. Keep something out. Let's start with some news. There was a calling all devs this week. They talked swimming. Swimming's going to happen. How important, CommanderLlama? How important is swimming? And if they give us swimming, can we expect fishing?
swimming is not that important, in my opinion. At least it wouldn't be part of the that minimum viable product. Like, who cares? It's just swimming. That's totally like yeah, you can add it later because we're gonna have planets with water, but for now, just use the free fall animations in the water, and it'll look really terrible. And then just do a tech pass later. Fishing is of vital importance, especially in Nebula.
Yeah,
It's been confirmed long since because we had the aquarium.
there's more fishing. There's
Alien
gonna be more
fishing.
fishing in a space game than there is in an ocean game.
In an ocean game,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, space is like the
Sea of
biggest ocean.
Thieves.
I might actually be with Miles KG21 here, who says #swimming first.
Just so you know, Ocean was a game development company. I made the fucking forget it. Kids.
I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
The ocean made video games?
Yeah,
Good to know.
like 25 years ago.
We did see a fair bit this week about scanning. They showed off.
That was cool.
Yes.
I was like, hey, they're scanning.
Yeah.
Considering it needs to be out in 8 weeks, no, 7 weeks. Yeah, it's important that they've got something on paper.
Looked pretty.
It did.
I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on, but it looked pretty.
That's the one concern I have. Like, I really don't know what's going on in it, if I'm honest.
I think now this is complete speculation on my
Let's see if
part.
I've got that,
Nothing
actually.
but complete speculation. Now, the way it looked that you had a grid system, that you have a grid system. You've got each of these coordinates and a marker in each corner of the box, and you're sending out these pulses which are searching each cube. So if there's an object found in it, it's going to ping back to you and probably
And you could actually
display-
see objects in it, and they were like really hazy, like green. And I think the better your scanners are, and the closer you get to them, the more defined they become.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
How? I mean, is this? I guess this doesn't draw too much on resources because your game has to know it's there anyway, right?
They wouldn't implement it if it did.
Now, do you think it's going
The
to?
advantage is as well, you've already got the grid system in the game with the physics grid, so you're not actually doing anything with any more systems. Nothing's going over there. You've just got like an overlay and pinging information back.
Yep. It's an overlay over information the game already has.
Do you think that this is what we're going to see in game? Like, will the visuals look something like this, or is this just them showing us?
No
the tech?
idea.
Could be part mock-up.
This is the first work in progress we've seen for scanning, really, like, and a modern work in progress. I think it's probably going to change significantly over time.
There's gonna be
Now,
specific
this
scanning
might
stations.
this might be what you see on June 30th, considering it's not far off.
Would that be bad?
No.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, as long as it works, you get it in there and you get people to test it, and they go, well, this is just a hot pile of shit. And then you go, okay, let's try again. It's kind of how things work.
Okay, one of the really important things from this week's Calling All Devs was them talking about working on quantum travel, near in Atmo and near planets. And basically, CIG understand that it takes too goddamn long to get out from quantum and then get down to a frickin' planet's surface, and they are working on it. There's not really any news. They don't have like a decided thing that they're gonna do to fix it, but the fact that they do accept that it's bad,
That's good.
It's just, I never really expected that it would be permanent like that, because, I mean, it doesn't make things like trading very viable, because you're talking about like a 20 to 30 minute turnaround to just land and then take off again. So, no.
yeah, it was too long. Landing a reclaimer took a half hour, and then taking off is even
forever.
like.
No, I mean, it's. I mean, in my head, I'm just like, why don't you just move the quantum locations closer to the planet? But I think there's a reason they don't. So I'm sure they're working on it.
They said in the episode they don't want you to be able to quantum travel into the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, they're probably simulating the drag. So if you're hitting that drag at quantum speeds, that'd be awesome. I want to see that. But probably not a final game thing they want.
I want to see it,
Man, quantum travel looks so pretty.
It really does. This also looks pretty. There's not really much to say about it, but their particle effects are doing really well. That's all.
Yeah. Is that the Aurora? Yeah. Amazing. This is an experimental particle effect.
So running through basically the rest of ATV was ship stuff. The Mustang.
Ships.
Yeah, the Mustang to me looks kind of cell shaded. Like it looks like it's from like Borderlands or something.
Yeah, they have a very distinct style of it.
It's cool.
Yep.
That's the Mustang. Its rework is going. They've got new
It did get
props.
moved though. We have news on that. It was moved from 3.2 to 3.3.
Yeah. They've been so this week they announced a bunch more like procedural generation stuff of like procedurally generating wires, cables like we saw there, and then procedurally generating props and prop placement and everything.
Super cool.
And you know that they're doing this and like AI are sitting there walking around and it's doing this live. How, I mean, CommanderLlama, you've done some coding work, more than the rest of us at least. How impressive is it that they've got this stuff procedurally generating on the fly while the game is running, when things are live?
You mean you're referring to the current GIF?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they're generating stuff in the editor. Looks like they're running. Are they running Python scripts? I can't. I don't have it zoomed in enough. It looks like that's what it was running. I mean, it's cool. It's not particularly expensive, I would think, to just re-roll procedural stuff. At least not forks. It shouldn't be too expensive. You're spinning up different like random art assets.
What I think is kind of a cool potential for this is you could have the potential for a given location to change between visits, like in small ways, not the big stuff, but like the plates that are on the table could change.
I kept thinking about the cafeteria that we're going to be seeing a lot on the Idris that we're on in Squadron 42.
Yep.
And every time you go into that cafeteria, not only will there be different people in there, but the tables will be set differently.
And the food will be different.
And the food will be different. And the procedurally generated food in the procedurally generated food spots in the procedurally generated place on the it's insane.
I mean, we see lots of games with really detailed environments. I think in a more general way, it was just cool to see it kind of come alive like before our eyes in this game, like watch really highly detailed art environments come together and see how they're made, because it is too much work to hand make most of this stuff for a lot of games.
Totally, yeah.
In theory, there's no reason you can't have 3-month-old meatloaf. It's not going to procedurally despawn if it hasn't got a reason to leave the world.
Yeah.
Why? Wait a second. Are you telling me that are we losing fidelity here? Is food not going to rot? Come on, man.
Well, no, they've got the shaders.
Well, there's no reason. Wear and tear system will have a nice little fungus growing on there.
We've seen a couple of those. Fungus. Wait, was it this week that we saw them? Oh no, yeah, we saw also, this week, didn't we? Some of the prop
Lorville's
works.
Looking funky. I like it.
We saw some of the wear system on the props, I believe. If you watch,
yes, we did. They sharpened some of it so that it's more distinct difference between like the paint and the metal,
which looks really cool. I
that was before, and then this is how it is now. Yeah.
And forklifts confirmed.
Okay.
I can't wait to see some ship that's still operating is just beat to hell. Like it looks like it's been through like 100 battles, and it looks like the wings have been ripped off and like stuck back on again.
That'll probably be me in my like launch Aurora. It shouldn't take long to get beat up.
No.
Okay.
I want to drive one of those forklifts though.
This was announced this week.
What was announced? Oh, that's a thing.
Oh, a ship.
That is a pretty ship.
CommanderLlama, what do you think about this ship?
I generally don't get excited about new ships. Not too much. And then on top of that, this just doesn't seem like a very interesting ship to me. Although I have a general respect for ships that let you put lots of things into. So
Like
You know,
tanks. No,
it
sorry.
looks nice.
Oh my god, I just committed a horrible atrocity. Tonks.
Yeah,
Thank
you know, they say that it can fit 2 tonks, but I think we'll get at least 8 as a player base.
What do you think of how it looks?
I don't know. Looks like a ship. It's not really moving the needle too much for me.
Okay. Shiver?
Looks fine.
Well, all of the above, because I mean, versatility-wise, it's useful. We need something that's going to move tonks around the universe and drop troops and armies. Price? Do we want to talk price of it yet? We'll
I don't
get
even...
to that later.
I actually no. I kind of think that we should talk. So, Shiver, you were telling me that you've heard some grumblings of people complaining that this ship makes the tally useless.
Only a small minority. I'm not saying everyone's going nuts.
Why?
But there is a right. Like it's a very different thing. The Retaliator is torpedoes and space-to-space combat,
does
whereas
anyone
this
else
looks like it's going to bring death from above.
Does anyone else think it looks kind of like a really sleekened Serenity?
No. But that's just me.
Okay.
You didn't even ask my opinion, David.
I'm getting
The
to your
way-
opinion. It's just I remembered Shiver's comment. What do you think about how it looks, what it's supposed to do, and also the tally thing?
I think for a very large transport ship, it actually looks pretty great. Then again, most of the Star Citizen ships are well designed and aren't ugly. I really like. I don't know. I'm a big fan of gigantic carrying ships, like Matt said. Now, and I mean, the one comment I loved during ATV was Paul Jones, and he's like, you know, we designed it to hold 2 tanks or tonks or whatever they're called, but we're pretty sure once we get it in the game, people are just going to stuff like 200 soldiers in there and go invade a planet.
Yeah.
But now, in terms of the Tally thing, I have no idea what they're talking about. The Tally is a torpedo boat that is designed to take out capital ships. This is not that. Even the gunship it has MOABs. It has air to ground bombs. It is designed to fight things on the ground. All the turrets are facing down.
It sounded like its bomblets are just it. The bomblets kind of reminded me of like World War II B-52s. Just open the pod bay doors and drop, right? Just
carpet
drop,
bombing, yeah.
just carpet bomb. Like you're not gonna. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say you're not, but CommanderLlama, how effective do you think it would be to carpet bomb an Idris in?
Just fly
What if it's
away.
got no
Like
carpet?
one that's parked on a planet?
No, like one that's in space. Like, because the Retaliator is like torpedo bomber, blow shit up. This, I mean, do you think you could?
I think bombs rely on gravity most of the time. So in space,
That's what I was kind of going for.
I could actually go real bad in space.
Just like create a minefield.
Oh, minefields
Sorry for
in your
interrupting.
in your own bomb
idea
bay.
in Akara.
Although if they're
Okay,
doing
minefield.
really good simulation, then you could open all the bomb bay doors and like just put on all the brakes and all the bombs go flying out
Yeah.
at the enemy. I don't know.
Turn
That
on
might
the
be cool.
Brakes, bombs fly that way. Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna happen once ever.
Yeah, once.
I kept having visions of they need to do this cutscene of somebody in like a tonk that's like barely functional, and they're just like cruising across the ground trying to get away from some enemy, and then they're driving towards a cliff, and then all of a sudden you see like the Hercules like rise above the edge of the cliff with its bay open and drives the tank right in.
You mean kind of like the Serenity does in that episode of Firefly?
Well, when they run inside though. But
Well, yeah, but give me a break here.
Okay, I'll give you a break.
They did something like that in Serenity too, right?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
But yeah, they need to do that cinematic.
So they've also done some work on the Hurricane. It's a ship.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
sorry, going back to the Starlifter, I actually have a question. Can it also transport spaceships?
Yes.
Presumably, yes. They
If it fits, it sits.
a long time ago, they had made this whole like they had said, you know, you have to have something that's dedicated to lifting stuff to do it. But then they figured out the different physics grids and like now, yeah, anything, whatever you want to put in the ship, if it goes in it, it goes in it. So the Starfarer is technically a pocket carrier for a bunch of P-52 Merlins.
Yep.
Right? So
we're actually wondering if you on the Full Rated Night show last night, if you could fit a cutlass inside, and then inside the cutlass have a dragonfly, so you're actually like in the cutlass, in the dragonfly, inside the Starlifter, firing out the bay door as you're like flying.
Which is
along.
wider though, a cutlass or a freelancer? Feel like the cutlass is really wide now.
I don't know, frankly.
I would say
That's a
cutlass is
big damn
probably
door,
not
though.
wide.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to
Like
see,
the
and then
church-
you'll have to see if you can get the Starlifter inside an Idris, and then the Idris inside a Kingship.
No, Starlifter's 70 meters wide.
Details, man.
Huge.
We'll get part of it in.
That's another thing I don't think people are quite getting. This ship is gigantic.
It is. It's
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like in terms of volume, it's like reclaimer sized.
yeah. So that's that. They did also talk about the Hurricane. The Hurricane has guns.
I like the Hurricane.
It shoots stuff. You know it. It's a dogfighting ship. We've seen a million of them.
No, it's not a dogfighting ship.
Well,
they were very specific about that.
it's a capital
not about
killer.
dogs.
Capital killer.
It's a glass
Can't
cannon,
dogfight.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is your mage.
It's really, really, really good if you don't get hit.
It's also only good if you've got a really good gunner in the turret.
Also,
And a really good pilot.
Yeah.
something that they were talking about that's kind of important to know. I thought it was a good point. Is if these fly in wings of like 5 ships, they're lethal.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
kill them all at the same time, and that's a lot of firepower. They're also pointing out that because they're all laser cannons, they doesn't run out of ammo, so you can deal a whole hell of a lot of damage in a pretty short period of time.
Yeah.
It's a good ambush ship.
Okay.
That can't stay around.
They were talking about like flying at people from like the direction of the sun so they couldn't see you. Which
So
will be a thing in Star Citizen.
I'm going to take us back to the live view here because that's about it really for most of the news this week. We got an update. The 300i rework is being reviewed. The Orion's on hold. There's no ETA. 64 ships total have gone through the pipeline. There's 55 left. The Starlifter's in. There's work on some other stuff. Honestly, go read the TLDRs on Relay. Speaking of which, Shiver, you should actually put it to your personal TLDR of calling all devs up. It's very handy. Even if it's just that, you should put it up. Moving on, though, we're going to talk one big topic. Then we're going to talk CommanderLlama's article. But before we get to the article, this is slightly related to the Hurricane. There has been this week a large stink. And stink is the proper word. Nobody test me on this. But there has been a large stink about the LTI issue surrounding the Starlifter. So,
There's controversy over a concept sale
we're gonna
in
talk.
the Star Citizen community.
We're gonna talk LT fucking I
Oh, again?
again.
We've talked about
Again.
LTI roughly 1,800 times on this show.
Yes. And we're still going to talk about it again. Also, we've got someone here that we've never talked about it with. So, CommanderLlama.
What's LTI?
You know what LTI is.
Long...
Lifetime
Lifetime
insurance.
Yeah, I know. And that's
long-term investigation.
So this is it's maintenance savings insurance. You don't have to.
No,
It's
Or you're always covered on the basic hull.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for insurance.
So that's kind of maintenance savings, like upkeep savings, I guess, for having a ship.
It's exploding savings.
Yeah.
how
But it,
How you doing over there, David?
I'm trying to decide who to ask this. Nakara, I'm going to start with you. How little does LTI matter?
About as little as it's possible to matter.
Okay. Can you
Is that concise enough?
can you delve a little bit more into that?
Okay, so here's the deal. If for the Hercules, you either get 6-month insurance if you're using credit, or you get LTI if you are using fresh, spanking new money right from the mint. But the thing is that we've already been told, and assuming this won't change, but you never know. But we've been told that insurance is in-game time. So 6 months of in-game time is a long-ass freaking time.
4,380 hours of gameplay time.
Exactly.
Nakara, have you ever hit 4,380 hours in a game?
Not personally. I know people who have, but it was after years and years and years and years and
Shiver?
years and years.
Shiver?
Yes.
Have you ever hit
I played Eve for at least that long.
Wait, why are you on this? You're an Eve person.
Eve
Be
was
gone! Be
amazing.
gone! CommanderLlama, have you ever hit 4,380 hours in a game?
no. I have hit thousands.
I've hit thousands,
when I was
never
young.
that much.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? I think I played Neverwinter Nights for like 1,500 hours at least.
There was a lot of time in Neverwinter, but like the point is, 4,000 hours is really hard to hit.
Yeah.
Like once I can really see once we actually get the game launched, it not being in months insurance being in game hours. You buy insurance for 12 hours of gameplay for 18, like I just this constant LTI bullshit really angers me, and I need to do this rant right now. I really want to get to multi-crew, but I need to do this. Okay, here's the thing about LTI. This new ship is out with LTI only if you put new money. It's Warbond only. Now, Warbond has happened recently. It's something that CIG have started doing because
It's been over a year.
But guess what? They've started doing it because most people will just melt their ship to get a new ship. People have stopped spending as much money in the game. And even if you go back to the Kickstarter, you were getting a benefit for putting in actual money to the project. Now they've allowed people to melt things and they've allowed people to swap things. None of that was in the original Kickstarter. It was you're putting money towards a package. That's what you got. Now
I mean, they could just stop people, like say you can't melt anything anymore.
they could,
I
and
mean,
they
just,
should.
and just. I mean, that would.
It would piss
Solve the
people off,
problem.
but it would solve the problem. Thing is, if when they started the Kickstarter, you were getting a benefit for spending actual money on the game. That was the point of all these extra ships. It was you're getting something for giving them more money. If people are angry now that I want this, you're giving someone more for spending money than you're giving me for spending nothing? Well, no shit. That's the entire fucking point of crowdfunding. That's how they get their freaking money, you goddamn.
And yeah, there's I mean, I wouldn't normally be very upset about it, but the top post on Reddit yesterday was ripping them for being the same as EA and Ubisoft for like, but I'm like, what? I don't know. It doesn't really compute to me.
Yeah, nothing in EA or Ubisoft costs like $20,000. Way worse.
It has already been said by CIG, if you have paid real life money for your ship, it is not going to be taken off of your account no matter what. LTI is basic layout. It's the basic ship, the basic layout. And you don't, if you lose your Polaris with LTI, you don't go straight back to your hangar and, oh, brand spanking new Polaris. It's going to take time. There are restrictions on it. It is a minor thing, but at the same time, I can also understand why someone like Jake, who considers, he is a collector, why he would want LTI on a good swathe of his ships, because he's collecting them. And if you're a new player, why you would want LTI on your Aurora or something like that, because then no matter how far I drop, I can always earn something in my Aurora. But I really don't think, unless something has gone seriously wrong, you're ever going to be in a situation in Star Citizen where you are stranded on a planet or in space, pockets empty, no money, and you can't do anything. That's going to be hard to do unless you actually try to do that.
I have wondered about that. Like, if let's say I only had an Aurora, which is fairly close to the truth, and I don't know, I got ganked, or I just crashed my ship, which I'll probably do, and I had no UEC. What do I do?
And you had no insurance?
Well, I mean, the insurance would come with some cooldown, probably. So I don't know how long the cooldown is before I get the replacement.
A cooldown for an Aurora would be like
10
minutes. 10 minutes.
Oh, that's nothing then.
Now, what they've said, if you're one of those people who your only ship is an Erris for some ungodly reason, and you blow it up and it takes a week to get it back, basically they've said that you'll respawn on a planet, and then you can take jobs with other players or with NPCs to earn money, and you can buy a ship or whatever you want to do.
Here's the thing.
You could also just mug someone.
You could. I would really, really like if people stop saying that CIG are being they don't care about old backers anymore. They're only caring about new backers. We're all here to support the goddamn game, guys. If you want to put real money in, they're trying to give something for people that put real money in. And if that something is something that they have said and we have said, and virtually everyone who has actually looked into the issue has said, that LTI is fucking useless. If that is what they've decided that we're going to give to people who spend real money, then that is perfect. Because that is the kind of thing that I want them to give as a bonus, because it's useless. It doesn't matter.
Okay, then it did change this time, though, because they gave you an extra vehicle for this time as well.
Yeah. It's just like
they're just giving people more stuff to encourage sales. That's all.
Just be happy that they're making the game. Stop trying to bitch because they're screwing you personally over. Because guess what? They're not.
Well, they're not.
They're not. They're just
They've
trying.
also said they're going to bring out new variations of ships, completely new ships. Do you want your game life to be using the same old ship every single fucking day, or do you want the brand spanking new stuff with fuzzy dice?
I hate new car smell.
Well, what are you doing going around sniffing cars?
Okay.
I don't think they'll have smell over IP anyway, although that could be a sitcom announcement.
South Park did it. With,
oh boy!
The new one has got. You can, if someone breaks wind, it releases the odor of farts if you're playing it in VR.
Thanks, Flint.
So I have to share this because it just totally ties into this, and I thought it was hilarious. So I have right above my desk, I have a heat vent, but it's also just like a circulating, like the air circulation through my house. And I was playing Witcher 3, and I was in this elven ruin, and for quite a while. and I finally came out, and just as I left, the fan above me came on, so I had this like blast of fresh air in my face, and I was like, "Oh, it's like exactly what my character would be feeling right now." That's bizarre.
Did you ever see the system that Sony invented that does that?
Yeah, I did see it.
I thought it was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I am.
By the way, I should note it actually worked. Keep in mind, the ship is only for sale right now for subscribers and concierge.
Yeah.
The Hercules, and it's made a lot of money.
Any chance of an analysis of this sale once it's
I had someone message me and ask, so I've been working on it.
Excellent.
I think it'll be somewhat reasonable to do. Just a moment here. I want to take a quick look at the actual amount, but it is like $550,000 in a day.
Not bad.
Crazy.
For a ship that's only available for concierge and subscribers right now.
Not bad.
Does that count new money or just?
It's all money.
Be recycled money.
It's only new.
No, that's only new money, but it can be also other things if people are buying other things. But I mean, we kind of account for that.
Okay.
They normally make like 30 grand a day. And today they made 550 grand.
30 grand a day, 400 employees. They basically make enough to pay one employee per day.
As long as they're a low-level employee, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we are moving on to something that went up on Relay on Wednesday. I've just posted it in chat. It was written by CommanderLlama here himself. It's his first article up on Relay.
Boy.
So, CommanderLlama, how were you roped into Relay?
Well, I actually started writing this article on my own without any intention of it ending up on Relay. But I had just finished my foray into Sea of Thieves. And I had also at the same time got, kind of reinterested in Star Citizen with Alpha 3.0 successfully coming out. And I was on vacation, and I was just kind of pissed off about Sea of Thieves and my experiences with it. And looking forward to Star Citizen, and I was like, wait a minute, it's probably the single-seater ships that are the most important thing in Star Citizen from like a who's gonna play what, but right after that is really good multi-crew gameplay. So, and they sell a lot of, there's a focus on big ships in Star Citizen, so it's of vital importance how interesting this gameplay is. So I just opened a Google Doc and blacked out, and
woke up with an article.
Yeah, 12 hours later, there was this article, and actually, yeah, I did write it in one sitting.
Wow!
Originally, and then I had Erris read it, and
the rest was history. No.
Yeah.
By the way, that car wash gif might be my favorite thing in a long time. It's the best explanation of what you were trying to get at.
Yeah, no, it was perfect.
What did you do for that? Did you just search like "man being moron" or?
I that gif is I know that gif like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've liked it for years, and then I was thinking about what it's like to crew a ship that needs a large crew alone, and it was easy. Yeah, it's that.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about Sea of Thieves here. We're going to branch off a little bit because Sea of Thieves was bad. But it was bad in a special way.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had one word, it's bad.
If you had more than one
it's
word.
Shit.
If you had more than one word, though.
Look, I think the article goes over it. It does some things well. It's gorgeous to look at and to play. It performs really well. Like I don't even think I dipped under 130 frames per second when I was playing it. You know, so it's pretty. You might say, although the aesthetic is completely different, you know, Star Citizen kind of has the same thing. It's gorgeous. We see so much amazing art. In Sea of Thieves' case, that wore off pretty fast. And you find out, you know, there's some cool stuff in here. The ships are really well designed. The PvP is really cool when it happens. But man, this game is boring as fuck. Holy shit, it's boring.
What does Star Citizen have to do to not be the same?
Well, Star Citizen's already gonna have. I mentioned Sea of Thieves doesn't have any vertical progression at all. So one of their core design decisions was we don't want any leveling up or any gear or any of that kind of MMO progression that I call vertical progression. So that a new player would log into Sea of Thieves, and you know, an older veteran player would just be in this like giant mech, and it would just blow them away because he's leveled up to level 900. So everyone's on even ground when they join Sea of Thieves, and there's some merit to that, but there's also no horizontal progression in Sea of Thieves at all, more or less, aside from a couple little edge cases. So there's really nothing. Like you join that game and that's it. You're at the end game, other than cosmetics. What can Star Citizen do? Well, it's already doing some things. It's going to have lots of vertical progression. It's not going to have leveling in the traditional sense of the word, but you're going to start in a ship with, you know, a certain class of components, and you're going to be able to go get better components. They've got what, class D to class A components, I think they've said.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably pretty preliminary at this point, but yeah, that's where it was last time I saw it.
Yeah, and then
See,
you
I
know,
slightly disagree as people who view ships as progression system in Star Citizen.
Not ships, components.
you're going to be able to customize
Yeah.
your ship the way you
Yeah.
like to play it.
Well,
That's already more than Sea of Thieves.
I really want to
Well,
see.
that's not true either. You're not going to take an Orion into a combat mission, no matter how well you fit that out.
Well,
No.
you could.
They have said
could.
they have
Look,
said
you
the
could just
mining,
blow it up.
they have said that the mining laser will do damage.
That's right. Well, and it has turret on it, so you could take it into a combat mission.
It's true, and yeah, I did mention ship roles in the article. Ship roles kind of define they're kind of the space your ship would operate in or excel at, and then when you customize beyond that, you might be able to shift it a little. You're not going to turn a dedicated large crewed mining vessel into a dogfighter, but you might be able to say, well, let's sacrifice some offense and add more defense, or get rid of, shift the bars a little here and there.
So I do want to remind everyone that there is a question doc to ask some questions. We're going to get those in a second. Keep in mind, we only have 6 questions currently. If we don't get more questions, and if we run out of questions, then I will sing. Today, if we run out of questions, I will be singing Panic at the Disco. So,
Oh, good.
It's a good song, right?
It's the group. I don't know which song yet. Probably there's a reason these tables aren't numbered, honey. I can't remember the rest of the name of the song. Anyway, ask us some questions. So, CommanderLlama, that's your first article. It's up. It did quite well on the subreddit. There was some good discussion on it. People seemed to enjoy it, which is great. I do have a question, though. What's next?
What's next, article-wise?
Yeah.
Are we doing the hype thing?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
doing the hype thing.
All right. Well, I did write a second.
Get it earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually considering offering, like, telling Patreon people that they could get a chance to read stuff early. That might be a bonus to being a Patreon person.
You get to figure it out.
I don't even have. Oh wait, I do have a command for that. So I might do that. Let the Patreon people read it early so that they can give their thoughts a little early, which is good because more more eyes on it is always good anyway. But
it's so relevant to the article, giving certain things to certain people first. It's so it's so relevant.
Can you tell us what the article is about?
Okay. Yeah, sure. It's about whether Star Citizen is pay to win.
The age-old topic.
It's an old topic, although I originally got the idea for the article because I think it was a YouTuber.
Woo! Thanks, Ronan.
Board Gamer. He recently did a video on it, and I watched the video, and I was like, huh. And I've also had the conversation a lot with Erris in private over the years. So I am late to the party in writing such an article, but Board Gamer just did one in 2018, so clearly we can still talk about it.
We can totally still talk about it.
So I wrote an article with my thoughts on it.
Now, we're going to move on to questions in just a second. Nakara, you haven't perused the article yet, correct?
No.
But Shiver has. Shiver?
Yeah.
What did you think? As being the only person there's 3 people that have read it. Me, CommanderLlama, and you. What did you think, Shiver?
Oh, I haven't read it.
Oh, okay. We should probably do that.
Giving away the topic, I was the answer to the immediate question in my mind was nope, not in any way whatsoever, no. By the time I'd read it, I was like, fuck, he's got some fantastic points, and you know what? He's damn right.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
So look forward to that.
Yeah.
CommanderLlama,
I think it's a decent article.
This article is going to go up the week before you're on this podcast next. So I don't know if that's next weekend or the weekend after or when, but it's that's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, the article's drafted. It's not done. It would actually be great to get some more eyes on it.
I'm going to read it today.
Honestly, tear it apart because, I'm trying to cover...
Fun.
I am trying to cover bases when I write an article like this.
I tried to tear the other one apart, and I was like, "This is really good."
Okay. Basically, look forward to that article. It should be coming very soon, and it's fantastic. Honestly, yeah.
Erris is a good hype machine.
I do
marketing. I think
I should. We are going to move on to questions, though, because people have started asking questions. There are a few from last week. We're going to go through them really quickly. Ashley,
you could say that they're panicked at the disco.
They're panicked at the threat of disco. Ashley asks, when will NVIDIA sponsor SitCon? We don't know who's going to be sponsoring SitCon this year, or even if someone is. We probably won't find out till SitCon, but yeah.
I'm guessing, based on what they're saying about it, that they have a sponsor again.
I'm guessing it's probably Intel again, to be honest, because they seem to still be doing a lot with Intel. I think the partnership with Intel is doing well because Intel is pushing their new drives, and those new drives are using Star Citizen as an example of why you're going to need them. Next question. Ashley asks, do you think we need a civilian carrier? No.
I just want to quickly answer a thing in chat. Stevie Madman, there's literally 0 chance that Star Citizen uses NVIDIA GameWorks. They're rewriting the engine to use Vulkan.
I don't think there's a need for a civilian carrier. Shiver?
What do you mean by civilian carrier here?
Like a civilian ship that can carry multiple other ships, like an Idris, but for civilians, not military. Though the Idris,
the Hercules is kind of that, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
Idris
the
P
Idris
is
is civilians, so
the Idris P is civilian, yes.
yeah.
So there kind of is one.
Okay. Next question. Not Ashley asks, when is Star Citizen 2 gonna drop?
I'm actually going to take this one. I'm going to say 2068.
I think it's never.
And it's going to be Chris Roberts' kid.
Okay. Okay.
Has there ever been a sequel to an MMO that's also Guild Wars 2? There
Yep.
we go.
Guild Wars 2.
Although
Final
Guild Wars
Fantasy
is
14 is kind
borderline MMO. It's like right on the.
Yeah.
It's
Wasn't there,
like
like,
a multiplayer
EverQuest?
game
No.
that kind of is an MMO.
Weren't there like? No, there have been.
I think there will be a World of Warcraft 2 eventually, someday.
When they stopped printing money with the first one, that
Exactly,
doesn't
because
even cost that much to maintain.
Blizzard has already proved to themselves that they can make
Final
somewhere in
Fantasy
the order of
11
about-
had a sequel. Or no, Final Fantasy 14 had a sequel. They just remade
No, but
the
that
entire
counts.
game.
Final Fantasy
There was
11 online, and then did 14, and it was a train wreck, and then they remade the whole game, and it's good.
There was a point at which Blizzard was making $800 million a quarter on World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I think at some point they'll remake that game.
Captain Penis asks, what would need to occur for you to consider Star Citizen and Squadron 42 a failure?
Not to release. Sorry, who are you asking directly?
I'm asking everyone.
Oh, if it doesn't release, I mean that's an obvious one. If Squadron doesn't sell more than, I would say they'd be disappointed if it doesn't sell 1 million copies on its own, like above and beyond what it's already sold. For Star Citizen, they've actually already laid that out. They which is kind of funny because their hope originally was to have 1 million players with a stretch goal of 2 million players. They've already hit 1 million players. So I don't know.
CommanderLlama, what do you think?
It's kind of weird because of how successful this crowdfund is. From their point of view, they are already successful, and that's really bizarre. That they've made $180 million without releasing much.
Yep.
So they're just killing it. They're highly successful already.
Probably the coolest thing out of this is that they'll be able to release the game probably without much or any debt.
Yeah.
So as a company,
That is
they'll be in this situation where any success they do have is probably enough success.
I
keep it
feel
going.
like that's the barrier for success for Squadron 42 is making enough additional money on it to fund Squadron 42 Episode 2.
Yeah.
And to help fund the continued development of Star Citizen, because Star Citizen itself, as a buy-to-play MMO, is not going to have a shit ton of revenue, depending on how they do it. They might still do concept sales for additional, like War Bond only concept sales kind. We don't know what they're going to do there, but the goal of Squadron 42 is fund additional development. That is the goal. If it doesn't fund additional development, it's not successful. If it does, it is successful. Done.
Their message in terms of monetizing the persistent universe has always been, we'll sell in-game money.
Yeah.
Because that's always been the idea. And we'll sell cosmetics, and we'll still allow you to subscribe for like the development subscription part of things.
But that's about it.
And they'll have, new game sales. I personally, some people have challenged me on this, but I personally think very large expansions to the universe will be paid expansions. Things like now you can play as a Banu,
Yeah.
or now you can play as a Shion.
I think they will still do concept sales. I think they will still announce a ship before it's new and allow people to buy it with real money, because they do still need the income.
That's going to be a shitstorm. It should be interesting. But the other thing, what was I going to say?
I want to move us along, because we've actually got a shit ton of questions. Fuck. Good job, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. Apparently people really don't like Panic at the Disco.
I kind of wanted to say, okay.
I thought they were all right.
They're great. Rudy Poop asks, this is for Llama, can I have a hug?
Like a hug over IP?
It is not
Or
specified.
like a real... I'm not going to go meet you and give you a hug.
Well,
But
it might actually
come to
happen at CitizenCon.
CitizenCon. You can come to CitizenCon. I'll be there. The relay team will probably manage to get me drunk at least once. So hugs will be available then. We'll do a hug concept sale.
Hey, and
pretty
thank you for
soon.
joining us at CitizenCon. It'd be good time.
Yeah. You know, I haven't been to a con in a long time. So just generally going to a con is going to be fun. This seems like a really cool year for Star Citizen. That's my crystal ball is telling me such. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
If they hit their goals, and they're doing good so far. If they hit their goals, we'll have a bunch of new locations in the persistent universe like a week before CitizenCon.
Yep.
So.
Brivals asks, Shiver, I'm going to let you take this one because you haven't spoken in a bit. Do you think that insurance countdown time will be hour by hour, or will it be like rec purchases where if you use that item for a gaming session, it counts as a day?
Hour by hour is in-game time.
I think hour by
I would
hour as
assume.
well.
Yeah.
Either way, it still lasts for frickin' ever.
Desmarius asks, if you hire an NPC Herald pilot to crew your Orion, does that now make it technically a data miner?
Yes.
Des.
Even I got that one. I don't really know much about the ships.
That's lovely. I love it. Brivals asks, out of who is present, how many of you got premium tickets and who got regular tickets for CitizenCon? Premium.
I got premium. I might have been the first to get premium too.
You were the first of Relay.
Yeah.
Somehow the newest of Relay was the first of Relay to get the premium.
Well, I think everyone out, most other people were at work. I was on vacation, just at home with my like blazing fast internet. So
Also, welcome to Relay, by the way.
got it.
Also,
Yeah,
Shiver, I'm really sorry you can't
Yeah.
come.
It's fine.
No, you should be there.
Stop saying that to me, everyone. It's
So
fine.
sad.
If anyone out there is like a multi-millionaire and wants to like pay for Shiver's way to CitizenCon,
it costs millions of dollars to fly from the UK to.
well, no, like
Yeah,
I'm
million
saying,
Texas
only someone that
sounds
has that should, throw the money away to do it.
I wanted to
Yes.
just throw
Agreed.
a comment in here. It's totally off topic, but it's on our last topic that Desmarius asked. I just wanted to say I'm super excited that that data as a
Resource?
item in the game is on the roadmap now.
Yeah.
That is, I think it's one of the things that makes Star Citizen fairly unique among games, is that information will be an actual like currency in which you can trade, and you actually own information if you discover it. I think that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to it.
Sargareth, I see you in chat saying, wait, you guys got CitizenCon tickets. I thought you were ranting last week about it being in the middle of the week. I'm still going to rant about it being in the middle of the bloody week.
That hasn't stopped.
I still don't like it being in the middle of the bloody week. I still don't like having to take an entire week off and also travel on expensive days because those days are bloody expensive. Why can't, like, all of this costs a shit ton of money, but I'm still going to fucking go, man. I'm still
Shiver,
gonna
I love
fucking
your-
go.
Shiver, your shirt is amazing.
That is pretty
I like it. Fastcart asks, Erris, how many Lamatos did you see Thursday?
Oh man.
17. Brivals asks, should CIG continue these concierge pre-sales?
Yes,
Yeah.
it works. Honestly, I kind of understand why people get angry about certain things, but nobody's like forcing your hand to your wallet and pulling out your credit card and then going to buy your ship for you.
CommanderLlama, you are generally not a subscriber, correct?
Correct.
You subscribed for 1 month to be able to...
To access the subscriber blocks, yes.
There you go. If you really want something that bad and you're not concierge or subscriber, subscribe for a month and then get it.
There you go.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, it's true. I got some stuff with it. I don't know what any of it does, but I just did it for the ticket.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it means more money for CIG, which goes to development. Hey, Idris Carrier asks, what is the best looking ship and why is it the Hercules even over the Carrack? I mean, neither of those ships are the best looking ship.
I still think the
Clearly,
Reclaimer is the best looking ship.
The Reclaimer is the best looking ship.
Nah.
CommanderLlama, I actually, you know what? I used to ask new people on here like what they had and what they liked and what they thought was best. And I didn't ask you that. So what do you have? What do you like? And what do you think is best?
I think you did ask that on the one time I showed up.
Yeah, probably.
think so, but it
we
was a
were all
while
drunk,
ago.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and Sixer stole the show there because he showed up with a book full of questions.
It's true, he did.
I kind of just sat there.
Yeah, but
do I
then you
have?
showed
I
up
have
with an
an-
article.
So I actually, I was the purchaser for 4 people. We just all dogpiled one thing. So I have an Aurora, and I got, so it was the Kickstarter, and I think I got the Quad Scout package from the Kickstarter, so it came with 4 Auroras. And then we also all split a Constellation. It was going to be our party boat. The hilarious part is I haven't talked to most of those people in years. I don't even know where some of them are. But if you're listening, I got some ships for you. You can make an RSI account. I'll send them over. Yeah, so I just have an Aurora. I haven't done any more ship buying than that.
that's fair. As we say religiously on here, if you don't want to buy more ships, all you need is an Aurora.
For me, like, I actually want to play this game. So, like, I love in games when you start, like, when you do that rags to riches. So I want to start in that dumpy Aurora and, like, work my way to a, I don't know, 600i or whatever. Something
basically that's basically why, even though I have my first ship was the 315p. That's basically why, even though I have like a couple other ships that are higher tiers in various careers, my sole intent is to start the game with my 315p and tool around in it for quite a while before I move on.
I have too many ships and they are all non-tradable. So basically what I've been doing slowly is amalgamating them all into the most expensive ship possible. So I have a starter ship and then an end of the line ship that I'm never going to use because it takes 50 people. And that's basically
So you're going to get a Javelin?
I might.
I've working your way.
I've actually decided that I really want to cut down on the extra ships that I have. Like I'm going to keep my Endeavor. I'm going to keep my Reclaimer.
I think I only have like 5 ships. They all have a specific purpose.
Okay, next question. Fastcart asks, Erris, how is that corn dog? Looking forward to more? Yes. For anyone who doesn't understand what that is, well, you should have watched the Full Friday Night Show on the base last night, which Shiver?
That was a good one.
That was a real good one.
That was a good one.
I saw the Photoshop, so
It was
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brivels asks, have you heard about the updates about Beyond Good and Evil 2 earlier this week? I haven't. That's on my list of things I need to look up because Beyond Good and Evil 1 was one of the best games ever. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I actually don't believe that it's ever going to come out. People laugh at Star Citizen and be like, Star Citizen's never going to launch. If you want to actually laugh at a game that's never going to launch, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's the one to laugh at.
Well, there was Duke
No,
Nukem
you said that's
Forever.
going to come out next week.
Yeah, there was Duke Nukem Forever for a long time too, right? Wasn't that like 15 years?
It was 15.
And
It launched.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah,
It
I didn't
sucked,
play
but it
it.
did launch.
Yeah, they got it out there
Yeah.
in some form.
Idris Carrier, Nakara, Space News.
Oh, yeah. Well, this could take a while. I'll try and do it as fast as I can.
Quickly.
Sorry, what was that?
Quickly, go.
Quickly, okay. Mars Insight launched this morning on an Atlas 5401 from Vandenberg. First interplanetary launch for NASA from the West Coast ever. This is going to Mars. It is a lander, but not a rover. and it will be studying the interior of Mars using a seismometer and a heat probe. Basically, will map the interior structure of Mars, which we've never actually done successfully. I think Viking like 14 tried or something. But the other really, really cool part of this that is the experimental side of this mission, there are two CubeSats going along for the ride called Marco A and Marco B, also known from their teams as Wally and Eva.
Really?
Yes.
Aww.
And their job is, because when InSight lands, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter won't be able to broadcast to Earth. So if they didn't have Marco A and Marco B, they wouldn't actually know if InSight landed until 6 hours after it landed, and they're not that thrilled about that.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, screw it, we're gonna try and make deep space CubeSats, which no one has ever done before. And so there are these little CubeSats, and they have this folded array, which they think will allow them to access the Deep Space Network themselves with these little CubeSat satellites. And their sole mission is to broadcast all of the entry, descent, and landing data live from InSight back to NASA. They're not sure if they're going to work, but if they do, it'll be huge, because that will be the sort of gateway to having CubeSats explore the solar system, which are way cheaper than these gigantic, $1 billion.
Does anyone else find it really cool that there's a deep space network?
Yes, I always find that really cool.
Like,
it's amazing.
There's a network in deep space, and it's called the Deep Space Network, and that makes me happy.
There's
but the CEO was recently in front of the Galactic Council, and he got a bit grilled.
There's 3 spots on Earth where they have these gigantic radio antenna arrays, and they represent the Earth's part of the Deep Space Network, and they basically have 24. They have 3 around the world, so they can have 24-hour coverage of the whole sky.
Brivals,
anyway, that's it.
Brivals actually asks the same thing. Was there any space-related news? How did the launch go? It went successfully?
Just one other quick thing I wanted to mention. It's a lesser piece of news, but very important long-term. Block 5, Falcon 9 static fired successfully yesterday. And that sort of paves the way for a very reusable rocket. They're planning to reuse Block 5 at least 10 times per core.
Which is
awesome.
Insane. Brivals asks, who here pledged for the Hercules during the pre-sale? None of us did, so if anyone in chat did, make yourself known.
I'm kind of away from the... I'm kind of not in the $400 ship thing anymore.
I've stopped pledging. I have put...
I still subscribe, so I got lots of money flowing to CIG.
I do subscribe, and I, quite frankly, I have put enough money into Star Citizen.
They're good. They're good.
Keep in mind, we still do Relay here, and I mean, Relay gets a lot of
free.
It's not free. Thank you to everyone who.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Honestly, it's. I would continue doing this without you. I'd eat it into my own budget, but it sincerely helps so much. Thank you.
Well, and we might not be able to do things like CitizenCon.
We might not. Yeah.
That would be a stretch.
But I have also put 4,500 US of my own money into Star Citizen. You know what?
Yeah, I'm good.
Somewhere that range. To be honest, I'm good. I do have a question though, CommanderLlama. Actually, you've got an Aurora. You've got a shared Connie. Is there anything you can think of that would come out that would make you be like, yes, I'm going to have one of those?
No, I don't think so. Sorry, that's kind of the simple answer, but...
No, that's...
Like, any new amazing thing that comes out, and I love some of the ships that are already in the game. just earn it in the game. I don't know. Like, it's not too complicated. I really like I love the Origin ships, pretty much all of them. So, you know, I'll start in an Aurora, and then maybe I'll upgrade to like a 100i, and that's probably my journey. But I don't really want to buy any of them. As far as the Hercules goes, I'm even less convinced what this thing does, at least for some of the variants. Like the gunship one seems really cool because it's like firepower, but I don't know how much like ground warfare is going to happen.
Yeah, we were actually having that conversation earlier this week of like how often are you going to be like, I'm going to land 2 tanks on a planet and they're going to make difference in this ground war that's happening? Are there going to be planetary ground wars?
I don't know.
Depends, really.
It could be a big bandit base, and you could have a really professional army show up with starlifters and stuff. But I don't know. For the average person,
you could just be a complete space bastard and be all like, "Tent down there. Someone's just found that. Get the tonks."
Shiver, I'm going to ask you the next question, also from Brivols. If you were in command of a Hercules, what would you do with it?
That I would be space bastard.
Okay. Haramis, I think this is for CommanderLlama. What is the difference between horizontal and vertical progression?
So vertical progression is when I guess you get better than you were before. You are improving. You're going up. So in a lot of games, you're leveling up, or you're getting more skill points, or your guns are getting better.
Borderlands, so your guns get better.
Yeah, the numbers are going up.
Your numbers go up.
Destiny, my number went up. You know, that's vertical progression. Horizontal progression is probably most popular in, I guess, first-person shooters nowadays, or maybe MOBAs, where they're still attempting an equal playing field for the most part. They never get it perfect. Everyone's always doing balance patches, but you could side grade. So you could do it in Star Marine, right? You could use an assault rifle, or you could use a shotgun, or you could change the attachments on them to kind of suit them the way you want. So customization of components in Star Citizen will probably end up an example of horizontal progression, where you can shift your various stats in certain ways the way you want to play.
I'm thinking like Heroes of the Storm or Dota, over time earning different heroes. Like some heroes are better than others, but like they're all usable, and horizontal is earning more and more things to use, whereas vertical is getting better in those things.
Yeah.
There's no vertical progression in Heroes of the Storm, but there is plenty of horizontal progression. Whereas Sea of Thieves, there is none.
Pretty much. There's cosmetic progression, which
it's
almost another dimension. Really, it's not even.
It's like a black freaking hole, is what it is. It takes all your fun and it crushes it.
Actually, you know what pisses me off even more is it's not even well done.
Yeah.
Cosmetic progression. You take something like Overwatch, which I would say, and maybe you don't like loot boxes, but they've got pretty good cosmetic progression. Like, you know, every night you can get some new stuff. Sea of Thieves, I'm a little out of date now, but you start at a certain rep level, and it could be like level 1, you've got this set of gear you can buy. Level 25, halfway to max, you got this like next tier available, and it's like there's 40 to 50 hours there before I get an upgrade. Like,
you know what other game has good cosmetic progression is Rocket League.
Yep.
I don't know if I don't think I've played it since they did.
Rocket League has no vertical or horizontal progression.
Yes.
But it's also not $90. Anyway, that's...
Well, it's also not that type of game. Like,
yeah.
You don't... There's nothing to level up. You're as good as everybody else because it's a sports type of game.
Yeah, that's more like a sport. So they actually want a very even playing field.
like people love their cosmetics because they're cool. They can make your car look totally bizarre and crazy. Which
Oh
I
yeah,
love.
all for cosmetics.
So Triangularity asks, if not Intel, what other company would you like to sponsor CitizenCon?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. Fuck.
Okay. Tesla.
And now Shiver has to say,
Boring company.
yes.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
Actually, yes, to give out the free not a
flamethrowers.
flamethrowers at the door.
I would. Yeah, I'm going.
The other ones I would think, because of historical partnerships and stuff, possibly AMD, possibly Nvidia, possibly other tech companies.
Captain
No,
Birdseye.
What?
Who?
What?
Captain Birdseye
I don't get it.
I
makes
no.
frozen foods, and he's a captain there. He's got like.
I think
No,
that's in the UK.
I think that's a
only.
UK
I'll
thing.
forget it.
I think that's a British thing. Sorry, Shiver.
All right.
Tilu
Free to
asks.
sponsor. They can give money. It's fine.
Okay, Tilu
By the way,
asks.
Someone needs to convince me not to rent a Tesla when I'm in.
I'm not
Austin.
convincing you that. I think you should. Tilu asks, Llama went extensively on downtime and travel time, but in your minds, what would be the sweet spot time between the end of Quantum Jump to Planet Side and the other way around, considering player-to-player interaction? How long does it need to be for someone to be able to catch up with you, police, pirates, and not be too much downtime?
First of all, it needs to be variable depending on the size of the body you're talking about and the thickness of its atmosphere
And the
Like-
size of your ship.
and the size of your ship. If there's no atmosphere, for a moon, like you should be able to quantum to like within a pretty small distance from it. But I would say in general, you should probably take the 5 to 10 minute landing for most ships down to about half that, or maybe a little less.
It should not take a half hour to land a ship. It should not take a half hour to take off and get to space, period. If a half hour of your game time is landing or taking off, something's wrong. I could see a Hull E taking, Hull, what's the largest ship that can land? A
Probably.
reclaimer right now, but
Well, the Idris can land.
Yeah,
so
the
there you go.
Idris land.
the
Fine.
Idris
Idris
land.
lands.
Okay, I could see it taking 10 to 15 minutes for an Idris to land on a full planet
With full gravity, yeah.
with full gravity, and I could see 15 to 20 minutes for it to take off from a full planet with full gravity. But I really think that 15 to 20 should be the absolute max. Most should be in the 2 to 5 minute range because it's boring. It's just boring,
But
and you don't. There's
that's
no
why you
game.
got me.
There is no game that you want a half hour of downtime where you're doing jack all.
You want it to be interesting and fun rather than just like, have you set the course to go into orbit? Yep.
It's honestly like, I mean, if I play Overwatch and I'm in a queue, whatever, for 2 minutes,
Oh, they actually trained him into Q.
We're trying.
We worked on that for years.
it's
Off
still
the
not complete. If
It's
I'm in a queue,
queue.
if I'm in a queue for 2 minutes, I'm pissed off. Can you
Yeah, but that's
imagine?
the-
Can you
that's the-
imagine?
that's
Can you
the pace
imagine
of the game, though?
But can you imagine queuing for 30 minutes for a match?
Yeah, I have.
Is it worth it?
Depends what it is. It's usually the complaints line to complain about the complaints.
The
Okay,
end goal matters a lot. I know there's an intrinsic like, okay, let's not have this boring as shit like long downtimes, but the end goal matters a lot too. So if it did take 10 minutes to go down to a planet, I did a mission, and then it took 10 minutes to go up, and it's like I made 100 UEC.
What
Down
are you
on
going to
the
do if
planet,
you have
and
to
it's
queue
like-
more than 30 minutes to get in sitcom? Just
Ugh.
walk away.
Well,
Oh, totally.
Canadians like lines in real life, so
Ah,
I have a
Real life
question. I
lines,
have a
yeah,
question.
popular.
Do any of you guys pronounce it Curie?
No.
It's a query.
Mary Curie.
It's a query. Or a
query.
quay. Or a Q. Anyway, moving on. Tilu asks...
No, don't move on. I wanted to talk more.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
One of the sorry, there's something I wanted to bring up. I think this is one of the reasons why they should still keep with the. They seem to be leaning more towards large ships can land. I still think they need to keep it so that the really large ships can't land, because I think that it becomes unwieldy and really hard to pull off.
I think that's something
I-
that they said a long time ago. 4 years now. Large ships, Hulley, stuff like that might be able to
Dangle.
land in water.
Yes, but that's only under emergency conditions. And a Hulley also would have to be unladen, no cargo.
Yeah.
Or else it can't land. It is break in half.
I'd be okay with it landing with cargo and just the cargo dies.
Floats away.
Yeah.
Sinks. Anyway, go ahead.
Tilu asks, do you think we'll be able to lose insurance in the verse, like in real life, by modifying a product, switching a car part, ship parts, etc., trying to do repair, losing a screw? No, you won't be able to lose insurance, but keep in mind, even LTI is only on the hull of the ship. It's not on any of the upgrades that you do to it, and it's also not on any of the cargo. So if you want cargo insurance, you have to buy that per trip. If you want insurance for this really nice gun you found, you need to buy that specific insurance. Basic LTI, basic 6 months, but all those basic insurances,
Just the
they
hull.
are hull only.
so does that mean like you get it replaced with a completely naked ship, or is it a
Yes.
base
it's
loadout?
base loadout.
Well, it's a base loadout. But if you had just spent, $1 million UEC putting military weapons onto your ship, you better have insured them, or you're gonna lose them all.
Okay.
You
I
s-
just thought the distinction was important, because if
No,
let's
it
say
is
you
important.
had 0 UEC and you just naked ship and you can't do anything with it, well,
Yeah, no.
now what do
You
you do?
get-
it's a base
you get
loadout.
the base.
But you got
on it.
something.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Flint says that there are planets marked that if you go here, insurance will not cover
And
it.
it's
But
not
then
even just
That's
planets.
only on the planet.
No,
or
not
in-
only on
that
planets.
specific area.
There are entire systems that are like if
Not
you
covered.
go to Vandal space.
Yep.
If
And even
if
then-
you jump into Vandal territory, guess what? Your insurance ain't covering it, boy.
You can buy
Oh yeah, you can
hazard
buy.
insurance.
Yeah.
You can buy hazard insurance, but they've already said it'll be really expensive.
Yeah. I want to get through a few more questions before we end. So
Fire away.
the original Grib asks, Erris, when and if CitizenCon comes back to LA, will you still attend? I will try if I can afford it. If I can afford it, I'll go to every CitizenCon. That's the plan. It's just a matter of money and time. Dr. Mantis Toboggan asks, how did you get bearded Ryan Reynolds to join the podcast? We're good friends.
I like the little smile there from Matt.
He wrote an article, and I was like, hey, now you got to come on the podcast and defend that article. So a 3-year-old tuna sandwich asks, are you happy with the direction that CIG has gone for the past 2 sales? Starting from the 100i, weaning backers off LTI. If not, what would you have done to make it work other than the big FU to old-time backers? Sorry for the salty question. I don't know if you were here for the beginning of this, or at least earlier in this. We went over this.
preferred it
It is
earlier in
not
our
an
podcast.
FU to goddamn old-time backers. This is a, hey guys, we want to make a game. You know what? All of this buying shit with shit that you already spent, that doesn't help us build the bloody freaking game, guys. To build a game, we need money. Guess what? We're gonna try and give something to people who spend real money as a bloody incentive to give actual real money to the project so we can make the fucking game. If you want the game made, put in real money. If you don't want it made, if you just want your shiny ship, then guess what? You lose the bloody insurance. Who cares? It's LTI. It doesn't matter. Jesus bloody Christ!
Mostly well said.
Rivals
You could
asks.
also just
We have
not.
more-
You
we have
could
more
not.
questions. Go.
You could not buy stuff.
There you
It's
go.
always-
Hey, Commander, how many ships do you have? What are you starting with?
An Aurora.
Oh my God! Crazy! Brivals asks, how did you like the possible solutions that Rob Reiniger showed us in calling all devs for orbiting incursions and moonitary planetary points of interest? Would you have a better solution? I like it. To me, it's a start. To me, they know that it's an issue and they are starting to work with on it, and they know that it's a problem. I trust that whatever solution that they find will be something that is better than the current situation. And if it isn't, I know that we'll be able to tell them that it isn't, and they'll fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to everyone whose ears I hurt. I do apologize. 3-year-old peanut butter sandwich asks, how much ordnance do you think could knock out a relatively small planetoid or moon off its orbit? And would you want that possible in Star Citizen? No, because test.
They would so totally do that.
No, you don't understand. Because if they did that, test would seriously just create like swarms of auroras that would knock into moons to slowly shift them off their orbit and shift and shift and shift to the point that the moon would fall into the orbit of the Earth and would impact planets. That is what tests would do. You know it. No.
That server would probably just crash. I mean, let's be real here.
I'm gonna say that that's probably a step too far.
Most of the guns I've seen are all kind of pea shootery anyway, compared to planetary weaponry.
Yeah.
By the way, I do hope that I'm not offending any test members, but I really think that that is what tests would do.
I should mention though that you probably couldn't fire a weapon large enough to actually move a moon because it would just blow it up.
Just crash your drive into it.
You would have to like put a bunch of ships in the surface and like push against the moon. Yeah.
Brivals asks, how did you like Disco's little jab at Relay for their shortened dramatizations? I didn't actually catch that one, to be honest.
Disco has had many jibes at us over the years. We're
you know
used to
what?
it by now.
If he's jabbing at us, it means we're doing something right.
That's right. He was once again salty about people going and viewing transcripts and shortened versions of episodes instead of the full episode.
It does take a long time to follow Star Citizen closely, though. It's it's a hobby.
He's been salty about that for years. So
I think
we'll just.
I think he's saltier about people that make videos of it.
Yeah.
Because we don't really steal much from CIG, and to be honest, we do offer them all of the transcripts that we do because our transcripts are quite frankly more accurate than YouTube's. We don't want to take anything away.
We know the difference between its and its.
It's true. We don't want to take anything away from CIG. We don't want it is also important for there to be a long form transcript and also a too long didn't read, because not everyone has 3 hours a week at this point to dedicate just to Star Citizen videos. Even Relay has we don't have enough time to dedicate to the 14 hours a week it takes to transcribe them all. So oh my, if anyone out there wants to transcribe,
now hiring. You could always make the newbies do it.
Now hiring volunteers. Me asks, I love you guys, even the bearded Ryan Reynolds. And that is the last question for this week. So, thank you all so much for hanging out. I do think you all should go and follow CommanderLlama on Twitch. And also... Twitch.
Oh right, yeah, Twitch. I guess we do stream once a week.
We do stream once a week, and you'll at some point stream more. But basically, join CommanderLlama and I on Thursdays as we play through all of Mass Effect. Because I mean, is there a better space game to play before Star Citizen comes out?
It is a
Wing Commander.
I do have. I have Wing Commander Privateer. I was thinking of streaming that. I could probably find my copy of Freelancer.
Yes.
That's why I backed. I love Freelancer.
By the way, Freelancer's still, at least like a year or so ago, it was still alive and kicking online.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's
a
fantastic
popular
game.
mod for it. Something SWAT team makes it. Anyway.
Yeah, Carbide Edge. I did check out the monthly report and also the Calling All Devs thing where it talks about shortening travel time to planets. We talked about that earlier in the show. We don't know how they're going to do that. They've got orbital splines or like places of like travel points right above
The orbital markers?
Orbital markers that are important. All those are good ideas. They've also got like 10 different ideas that we don't even know about. I can't wait to see which they choose, because I think that anything that they choose will be a hell of a lot better than it is now. Go check out CommanderLlama. Follow us on Twitch if you want. Join us on Discord if you want. It's cool. We talk about stuff. If you're really crazy, do the Patreon thing. Jordy LaForge says, back us on Patreon. Visit us at relay.sc. Come hang out every night, every year. Go check out, there's that. Check out the Astropub and Gray-Headed Gamer possibly later today. The Astropub is also always fantastic. Go watch that.
Always.
Shiver?
Can I quickly say a thank you to Mike Slane for the kind words earlier in the week?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the kind words earlier in the week, Mike Slane.
I will also say a lot of people reached out to me and wanted to know what was going on and how everything was doing, and I do really appreciate everyone's concern and your words and your thoughts, and it helps me get through a pretty rough week. So thank you. Tune in next week. Keep an eye out for CommanderLlama's pay-to-win article, which is going to make everyone so mad, and I can't wait.
Hey, the reception was good on the first article, so I'm hoping to end my career.
Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. We will see you all in the verse.
Melissa Estrada.